One in three people feel lonely. One in three. That's not a personal failure, that's an epidemic. If you've been feeling disconnected lately, isolated from the people around you, even when you're surrounded by them, you're in extraordinarily ordinary company. And if you've come here looking for a way out, you're already taking the first step. If you find this kind of content helpful, please subscribe. We're building a community here around real connection in a disconnected world. Now, here's what's wild. We're more connected than ever before. We've got our phones in our pockets. We've got social media feeds pumping notifications into our brains 24/7. We can message someone on the other side of the world in milliseconds. We can see what our high school acquaintances had for lunch 3,000 miles away. And yet, somehow, despite all this technological closeness, loneliness has become one of the defining experiences of modern life. The paradox is real, and it's not in your head. In fact, researchers have been studying this disconnect, no pun intended. And what they've found is both sobering and enlightening. We're living in a time of unprecedented access to information about other people's lives. Yet we're feeling more isolated than generations past who had way fewer tools at their disposal. Think about that for a second. Our grandparents had smaller circles, sure, but those circles were deeper. They had fewer connections, but the ones they had were woven into the fabric of daily life. Now we've got hundreds of online friends, and yet might not have anyone to call at midnight when we're struggling. The loneliness epidemic isn't really about being alone in a room by yourself. It's about feeling alone while surrounded by people. It's about scrolling through a feed of other people's highlight reels and feeling like you're the only one who doesn't quite fit. It's about being in a crowded coffee shop, seeing all these people together, and feeling like an outsider looking in through glass. Studies show that loneliness has become so prevalent that public health officials are now treating it like a serious medical concern. We're talking about the same level of attention and alarm that gets reserved for obesity and smoking. Loneliness is affecting our heart health, our immune systems, our mental well-being. It's literally shortening our lifespans. But here's the thing that makes this epidemic different from most others. It's not something that happens to you. It's something that happens around you and within you simultaneously. The conditions of modern life have made real connection harder. The way we work now, often isolated in home offices or cubicles with noise-canceling headphones on. The way we socialize now, often through screens rather than face-to-face. The way our cities are designed, with people rushing past each other, earbuds in, eyes down. The way our schedules have become so packed and fragmented that finding time to actually be present with another human being feels like scheduling a business meeting. And if you're already feeling lonely, if you're already struggling with disconnection, it's even easier to slip further into isolation. Loneliness begets loneliness. When you're feeling disconnected, reaching out feels harder. It feels riskier. It feels like it might not work anyway, so why bother? But that's exactly where the good news comes in, and that's what we're going to explore together. Because the path back to warmth and real connection, the kind that fills you up instead of just filling your feed, is actually simpler than you think. It's warmer than you'd expect. And honestly, it's a lot more fun than the isolation you've been feeling. The fact that 1 in 3 people feel this way doesn't make it less painful for you right now. But it does mean that the solution isn't about fixing something broken in you. It's about understanding how connection actually works in the real world, and then taking some pretty straightforward steps to rebuild it. And those steps, they're not complicated. They're not expensive. They don't require you to become someone you're not, or to force yourself into social situations that feel inauthentic. In fact, some of the most powerful ways to combat loneliness are so ordinary, so wonderfully human, that you've probably already experienced them and just didn't realize how much you needed them. So let's talk about what's really going on, why connection feels so hard right now, and most importantly, what you can actually do about it. Because you don't have to stay where you are. You don't have to keep feeling this way. And the path forward? It starts with understanding that you're not broken, you're not alone, and you're not too far gone. So here's what reconnection actually looks like. It's not about finding the perfect friend group or waiting for the right moment, or having your life together first. It's about one small, genuine action. Text someone you haven't spoken to in months and tell them you've been thinking about them. Join a class, yoga, pottery, book club, anything, where you'll see the same people weekly. Say yes to the coffee invitation you'd normally decline. Volunteer for something that matters to you. These aren't grand gestures. They're warm, accessible, and honestly, they're kind of fun. The magic happens because you're not forcing connection. You're creating the conditions where it naturally grows. When you show up consistently, even in small ways, people respond. They lean in, they remember you. And you remember what it feels like to matter to someone and to have them matter to you. The loneliness you're feeling right now isn't permanent, and it's not a personality flaw. It's just a signal that you need more warmth in your life. And that warmth is closer than you think. It might be in the person 3 texts away. It might be in the community space you haven't visited yet. It might be in saying yes instead of no. Start with one thing this week, just one. Pick whichever feels easiest, warmest, most like something you'd actually enjoy. Do that, and then do it again next week. You'll be surprised how quickly the feeling shifts, how quickly you remember that you're not meant to do this life alone. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. We're all figuring this out together, and I'd love to keep walking through it with you. You've got this.